Not many people saw the 2011 comedy Goon starring Seann William Scott, Jay Baruchel, and Liv Schreiber, but those who did loved it. The Hollywood Reporter is now claiming that a sequel to the film is going into production, which will be called Goon: Last of the Enforcers, and will be directed by Jay Baruchel in his directorial debut. John Byer saw that they're making another Goon movie.
I gotta buy it, and I'm shocked. I think the first one made like $4 million domestically and maybe $6 million overall. So the fact that they're bringing it back to do another one, I guess they also may have made the movie for bus fare. And if they can make the second one for like cab fare, and I think because of positive word of mouth, a lot of people picked up on it. I think this movie could arguably make 10, 11, 12 million and actually make a tidy little profit. I love the look. I'm Canadian, so anything hockey related, I'm going to get excited about. But I did love the look at the enforcer culture. And the fact that they're going to call this new one The Last of the Enforcers is a reflection about the enforcer is almost gone completely out of the NHL these days. So having a movie like this kind of reflect that, I'm excited about it. Now, as far as Jay directing it, always curious to see a performer we like first stepping behind the camera. Sometimes we've seen it work in spades, like Ben Affleck. Many times we've seen it not work so well. Let's see how this works. This is a good film for him, though, to cut his teeth on. Super low budget. It's a film franchise he's already familiar with because he starred in it. This is a perfect movie for him to start with. So I am going to give it a buy. Schnepp?
Did he have anything to do with writing the first one?
I cannot remember. I will look that up.
I buy it. We had just talked about The Goon a couple weeks ago when we were talking about sports movies. And that's one of my favorite sports movies. It's really fun. What's the main guy's name again?
Seann William Scott.
Seann William Scott.
And to interrupt just for a second, yeah, he and Evan Goldberg did write it.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
I thought he was in, it wasn't like he's just jumping on to direct it. I mean, he was. So I think he wrote this second one too and was like, hey, look, I want to see this through. And I think it's a really worthy of a sequel. It probably did really well on VOD, or it didn't do that great in the theaters, but then it just had that people kept talking about it, and then I finally saw it once it was on, it might have been on Netflix or something. But I really enjoyed it, so I'm happy to see a second return to this character and see what's going to happen next.
And how good was Liv Schreiber in that movie?
Oh, he was amazing.
Wasn't he great in
he
that?
was fantastic.
I buy it as well too. Just to hear the stories on set. Hey, now can you punch him in the face? But no, if you haven't seen Goon, by the way, see that movie.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be some silly, goofy comedy, like Will Ferrell type thing. It's the best Seann William Scott's ever been.
Yep.
I don't disagree. I think you're right. Yeah.
You see his dramatic chops in there, and you see, because there are funny moments. It's not Happy Gilmore.
No.
You could easily think that it's going to be a Happy Gilmore.
It's not dumb comedy.
No, it's not. And when the comedy hits, it hits. Pun intended. And when you're watching this, you see that these guys involved, Evan Goldberg and Jay and Seann William Scott, they cared about this material. So if Jay is not only returning to write it and is now directing it, it means because they really believe in the project, they want to do it, because like you said, it didn't make any money, really.
Right.
Yeah.
But they believe in the story or know that enough is there. It's not a cash grab, obviously. They're doing it because they want to continue the story. So how do you not buy that?
And that's also one of those things that even if the second one isn't a giant success, it'll find its audience like the first one and even be more successful. So it's one of those kinds of films.